Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we're going to take a look at the file management system on the Elektron model samples. I guess it's similar to the cycles as well. Okay, so model samples, when you first get it, you will have a default project. Okay, that project will load up for you. You'll see it says A1, so A01. If we hold pattern, these are 16 pre-programmed patterns by Elektron that you can play around with. Okay. Each project can have up to 6 banks of 16 patterns. So that's 96 patterns per project. Each pattern can be a different tempo, different sounds, different length. But a good way to use it would be, for example, set up a project, use, let's change this to bank B. So if I hold pattern, this, and then press 1, you see bank B is empty. There's no, the pattern is flashing, there's no data in it, and there's nothing at all in any of the other 16 patterns. You could then start to build this up into kind of a track or something, you know, but you have, like I said, you have 6 banks. Now these buttons do 3 different things. They're either selecting the sound, they're muting the sound if you hold function, or if you hold pattern, they are selecting the bank. So if I go back to bank 1, pattern 1, we're now back in the default project, pattern 1, and you'll see underneath where it says A1, it says hello. Okay, so you can name each individual pattern. If I select another one, you'll see it says A02 and it says Hanzo. And then if we go this, it says lit, and then we go this, it says heavy. I'm going to go back to one that says hello. So this is project 1. This is the default project. It's the one that comes with it, right? So you can either leave it, you can mess around with it, or you can go choose a different bank, and it's easy peasy. Just one project, right? The samples has up to 96 projects. So 96 projects times 96 patterns. It's over 9,000 possible patterns that you could have in your samples. Right, how do we do this? This is where it gets a bit tricky, and most people just maybe want to stay within the first banks of project A, but it makes more sense if you learn this and want to change things around. So first thing to do is we're going to go to our little gear icon here and press this, and this will take us into the config menu, and we can use the data jog thing to scroll through. This 1 of 8, which is the first one is pattern, then project, and then it goes on where you can adjust certain things on a device. Let's go to project. Press it to enter project, and you'll see stock is the first one, and then there's another one there called DW1, and then ChemZ. Say for instance we wanted to load ChemZ. Let's do this. Press enter. It says load, save, delete. Well, I want to load it. Okay. Do save stock before. I don't need to because it's fine, so I'll just select no, and changes will be lost if you proceed. Right, okay, so but I'm not changed anything, so let's just press yes, and now it's loaded our new project. Now if we go all the way back out now, you'll see it just basically says the same, except that it says no name under a. So I'm going to go back to this pattern, A01, but it doesn't tell you the project you're in. It also says no name. So you can name each individual pattern in a project, okay? So we're on bank A, project is my ChemZ, and pattern is number 1. And you can see that there is data in this because it's not flashing. This is the one that's selected, and there's no other patterns been recorded into the project yet, of course. Okay, right. So first of all, I'm going to show you how you name a pattern. Now, I normally wouldn't do this because it would be tedious to name 16 individual patterns, especially if you had more than one bank of project patterns, you know. So you mean it's like I said, per project, you can have up to 96 patterns. That's huge. Renaming a pattern. So let's just choose pattern 1 here. Let's press our gear icon. You'll see we're still on project. We want to be back on pattern. So let's go back till we see pattern, enter. Rename. Okay, so rename, save. So you can save a pattern, reload, or clear the pattern out completely. We just want to go to rename, enter. You see it says A01 and underneath it just says no name. Well, you can't, doing this will just, all it does is scroll through the actual, to change the letter, right? Okay. Press function and hold it. And now you can say, I'm going to call this, I'll just call this, I call it Cool Beans, right? So I'll go to C. I don't do anything else. Go to the letter you want while you're holding function and let go. And it will advance, right? It will advance and change that to a C. This one, next. Let go, advance, because it's already a C there, right? An O. Hold this, go and find O. Let go. Now we've got cool. Now let's go and find our L. There, let go. Now we want a space, right? So if we just scroll around here, you can see all these different characters you've got. The thing is, you do have to scroll around, but there's someone's a space here, so we'll just do that. And I'll just leave it at that. Now, what I will do, I'll just go to this one, hold, and I'll just clear out these as well. So let's just find our, let's find our space. I need to go back actually. Space again. You're getting the idea, right? This is how you name. And I'll go with this one. And then this one. And you got all these other characters you can use. So, okay. So now we've got that, right? Again, I'm going to go press this and I'm going to go rename the pattern to cool. I'm going to go, yeah. If I abort, it will just default. If I go to edit, it will take me back to naming it. Okay, so I'm going to press this again. Rename, yes. And now, if I go back to my project level, you'll see the A01 is now called cool. This is the pattern. And if I go to pattern 2, it says no name. So you could go through and name all your patterns however you like. So this one isn't, and you can swap between your patterns like that. Okay. Projects, right? So let's set up a completely new project so you can see how to do that. So we know that this is our Chem Thing 1 project, but I've made a few adjustments. Maybe I've tweaked around with it a bit. Let's go to our gear icon here. Let's now scroll to project, because I've changed it, haven't I? Because I've named that pattern cool. So project, right? I'm going to hit this. And I'm going to go save. Again, it's going to ask me to change the name again. I don't need to do that. I'm going to go save again. Save project is chems. Yes. And it's saved. And now, if I go to another project, say for instance, this one, load it. So I've now loaded this new project and I go to my patterns. Let's back out. I go to my patterns. You see, I've got 4 patterns in this project, but you'll see that the patterns have no name. Each of them have no name. So if I was to now go back to my, I know this might seem a bit tedious, but it will help you out if you know this stuff. Let's go back to project. Let's go to my chems project again. Just press it. I'm just going to hit load. Save. No, I don't need to. Okay. Yes. Now my chems project is loaded back in. If I go to pattern A, let's go back out. You'll see A1 cool. So it's remembered the changes that I've made. So for the last part, let's just set up a new project. So, and enter again, enter project. Now you can delete projects as well, but you can scroll up and down until you find a blank one. And now, like I said, we can scroll all the way along here and there are 96 possible projects, each project being able to hold a total of 6 banks of 16 patterns each. So it's huge. It's just absolutely vast. So you might as well use the projects. It just keeps things in order. And especially if you're preparing an album or a gig or something, or you want to do it live, having the projects and understanding the project manager is a real massive help. So number 6, we're going to hit this, right? We'll just save this then, shall we? Save. No, we don't want to save it as that. Oh, project 6, yeah, we'll just change the name. So let's hold this and go. Let's call this, we'll just call this A. Just call it a bunch of nonsense, eh? So let's go to, just call it A. This, we'll just call this project that, blah, 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 and press enter. Yes, save. And it's saved. And there's our new project. Now let's back out of this. A new project and a new pattern, unless you copy the project or copy the pattern, always will. Well, actually, that's weird. What have I done here? Oh, did I select my? That's interesting. Let's just try this again. I'm going to select this load yes, load, okay. I must have copied. It's because I kept right. Okay, so best is not overwrite projects, right? So let's select project number 7. Let's do this. Load. Save, no. Load. All changes will lock, yes. Okay. So now it's created a new project for us, and then we can go in, and obviously if we want to, we can save that project by going to save and calling it something else. I'm not going to do that now because it'll take too much time. But if we press pattern now, you'll see that we're back to our completely default. And what happens is it loads the default kit in for you. But this isn't a tutorial on how to load kits in the model samples. This is just dealing with file management. So before I go, guys, that's it. Basically, you can, if you want to stop watching now, you can. Just, you know how to do it now. But let's just rename this one, shall we? So save, and it says new. So let's hold our function button, change some of these to that, and I'm gonna go right. Okay, hit this, save project file, yes, and now it's saved as our new whatever characters I put in. Okay, and then we can also go in, and this one, because I'd overwritten the chems one, but you'll see it's still there, so you can make duplicates of projects. This one I will just delete. Yes, and that's now deleted. You see, we've got nothing there, so you can go in and basically load and this was now turned into new. Okay, so you've created a new project with all its default stuff. It's massive. It's massive, but it's a little bit getting your head around how this stuff works. But remember, the naming is the tricky thing. If we call it again this, and we go save, you're not entering note, you're just changing the position of things, okay, and letting go. So for instance, if I wanted to call this new one, you choose it first. So function, choose, let go, enter again, save project as new one, yes, and then it's saved as new one. Okay, awesome. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful, because it can be a little bit tricky understanding it at first, but once you get your head around how it works, it's kind of cool. And you've got so much scope then for creating. Now, I must say, before you change project, if you stay on a project and you switch samples off, it will switch back on and remember what you've done. If you change the project without saving, you'll lose all your changes. But luckily, each time you do that to change a project and you've made changes, it asks you if you want to save those changes in the menu there. Anyway, brilliant, top job, cool beans. Thanks so much for watching. Like I said, if you liked it, like the video, thumbs up, subscribe, consider becoming a patron, and I will see you guys later. Ta-ra.